Hi, Unibot Bob here. Today, I'm going to talk about crime in Chicago and look at underlying issues and discuss some solutions. Chicago has been notorious for crime since nearly its beginnings. For the first couple of decades of Chicago's existence, it had no formal police. The concept of a modern police force was new. It wouldn't be until the mid-1850s that Chicago organized a police force. However, during this time, Chicago attracted a lot of criminals from other states, and thus the beginning of Chicago mobs and gangs, and the likes of Al Capone during the turn of the century. I won't spend any more time chronologically discussing Chicago from a historical point. I'm going to jump forward to 1965 through the present. This is a time period where little change has occurred with regards to crime from a statistical point. 1991 was Chicago's worst year for violence, with 1,229 homicides. During this same period, in 1992, Los Angeles had its highest year for homicides. During this same period as well, other cities also saw spikes in violence. Since then, crime in general has gone down. However, surrounding the 2020 pandemic, there has been an uptick in violence. By number, Chicago holds the highest count for murders of any U.S. city, going off of 2021 figures of 771 people killed. However, per capita in the U.S., Chicago ranks 28. On a global scale, Chicago doesn't make the list. This doesn't negate the fact that work still needs to be done. Let's take a look at this 2021 map of homicides. The areas in red indicate the highest amount of violence. Most of the violent areas are on the south and west sides of the city. These are areas in Chicago that lack many resources. Poverty and drugs are a common problem in these areas, and the perception only proliferates the problem. These communities are left without many employment opportunities, businesses, and services other communities are afforded. Many schools have been underfunded, and many have closed in recent years. Policing strategies have had mixed results, and perceptions and morale are low. Public policy and neglect have plagued these communities. These are factors that affect one's socioeconomic status and/or the perception of it. We will further discuss this later in more depth. So, looking outside of violent crime, or for the matter, crime in general, we can see that there are many problems at hand in these neighborhoods, and we have a glimpse of their current status. And just going off the map shown previously, there is a correlation between the factors mentioned and crime. Statistics prove this linkage between poverty and crime. There is a statistical algorithm called the relative index of inequality. To put it simple, this is an equation that measures the relationship of socioeconomic status of groups of people in terms of possible health risk. The health risk, for example, heart disease, used in this algorithm would be the variable used to compare against the two sets of people. The results interpreted would show the group with the lowest socioeconomic status is X times more likely to have said health risk. In our example, this will be expressed as the lowest socioeconomic status is X times more likely to have heart disease. In a 1998 publication on economics, burglary and income inequality by Chu, he cited that there was an increase in the relative index of inequality. He cited that when there was an increase in the relative index of inequality, that crime would increase as well. So going back to the index, according to Chu, If the group with the lowest socioeconomic status is X times more likely to have heart disease, then they are X times more likely to commit a crime. Further going off the relative index of inequality, if undesirable health conditions are more likely in a group of people defined as having lower socioeconomic status, then criminal offenders from the lower socioeconomic status would perceive risk from committing crime to be lower. And that's from the standpoint of the criminal offender, if I didn't mention that. So at this point, we've gone over the status of neighborhoods experiencing the highest violent crime rates, and we've gone over underlying issues. So with the information we have to go off of, I want to now segue and talk about some solutions. Investing in our troubled community seems to be the key to addressing crime. Bring new job opportunities. This is what led to the Great Migration years ago. This can even be said about the state of Illinois, which I mentioned in a previous video. Bring amenities such as access to quality retailers, quality grocery stores, entertainment options within reach of these neighborhoods. Invest in our schools and continue to invest in after-school programs. With regards to the police, increase their funding in areas like the community policing program CAPS, which did offer effectiveness in reducing crime and can help change the perception of police. Also within the police's budget, increase funding in supportive areas such as internal counseling and training to ensure officers have the support they need to effectively perform their duties. Lastly, the home is crucial for supporting family values and instilling moral ethics. This in turn procures good community members. You've heard me speak on crime in Chicago, a brief history, an overview of troubled communities, and how for the most part it is neglect and bad policy responsible for this. I further added solutions that are achievable and will require the effort of state and local government, law enforcement, businesses, and members of the community, all to do their part in investing in it. Everyone has a part to play and a level of accountability to hold up. And it's my hope to see this problem resolved. Thank you for viewing this video.